It's like 32 degrees out. It's not gonna look cold. We are in a sunny forest in the middle of Georgia. I wanna show you how to take your drone flying to the next level. Let's do this. Whew. Okay, so isn't this an amazing forest? Actually, maybe it's hard to see with the sun. Let me turn it around. This is gonna take you maybe an hour or two, a few flights to get your head wrapped around this one, and you're gonna need a drone. So $0 if you have a drone. If not, it's gonna take you a drone. Got that out of the way. The reason I'm doing this is that I have noticed that a lot of people, when they first start flying, have a few common mistakes. Oftentimes they fly high, and they fly like they're flying a remote-controlled airplane, and they just fly in one direction. They're not thinking about things as a videographer might. Can I just say, I was gonna do this a month ago. We are gonna fly drones today. In fact, I went to my friend's house to try to teach him how to fly and just take it to the next level, and I was gonna do the whole thing there. And then midway through that whole discussion, I ran into a tree and crashed the drone, so I had to cancel that shoot. Then I went to Sweden, in which place there was amazingly huge winds, so I couldn't show you all the techniques up there, but I got some cool shots. Woo! I got it! You got the camera? I got it! Camera? Yes! Yay! Woo! Most epic shot ever. I was gonna go. Oh, good! So freaking windy.
I know.
Like it was like my drone was about to crash.
And we were like, oh shit, where's the drone? Where's the drone?
The caribou couldn't even stand up. They were like slipping on the ice. So anyways, now I'm here in this longleaf pine habitat, and it's amazing. And it's a perfect place for me to show you some of the examples that I think are gonna take your drone flying to the next level. All right, number one is I think you can start flying low and through the trees, right? It's not something a lot of people start with because they're a little bit sketched out at like, is it gonna crash, is it not? What I do in a forest like this, I will get right behind my drone and then I'll fly it in a straight line, right? Sometimes straight and up or backwards and to me, but basically you want to be able to see line of sight for your drone and just fly straight backwards and straight forwards. You don't need much in a shot like this, and sometimes you walk right underneath it. Like if you're in dense canopy cover, you can navigate around the trees, but it's gonna take a little bit of like just staying really close to your drone. Also, unless you're in a big open canopy like this, you're gonna have to turn off the automatic sensors that are gonna prevent it from hitting the trees, which I know people can be scared about, but even if you hit a tree, chances that it will kill your drone are fairly low. Now, I know saying that is not gonna give anybody comfort, but I have crashed probably a dozen of these by hitting random branches here or there. This is over like years and hundreds of flights. I've only totaled one of them. Well, no, there's a few, but only one was my fault. But anyways, these blades are replaceable, and so I think that's the first tip that I have. Second one, try a low orbit, and that's basically moving in 360 degrees around an object. Now, high orbits, they're the place to start with this. You're basically moving right while you're turning and yawing to the left, right? So it's a move with two of the joysticks, and it's not that difficult to do, but it takes some practice. Now, the reason I said a low orbit is that takes it to the next level, right? If you're getting really close, say around a tree trunk, and you're moving around that tree trunk really slowly, you can either do things like adding graphics, or it's just really interesting to see the reveal that's happening as you're doing that. So that's number two. Number three is get somebody or something in the shot. Now obviously you can take beautiful landscape shots without people, but because we're humans, we are attracted to those figures walking through the landscape, and I think they add an important element to it. Like take this for instance. I was here in the forest, and this is an amazing shot, but I thought, why don't I just walk through it? And I'm here alone, so I just sat down the controller and I walked in it and I walked out of it, and I think it made for a better shot. You know, obviously you don't necessarily need people. You could do it with animals, or you could do it with other things. Just, of course, make sure you're being really safe. That allows you to take it to the next level. Number four is start doing three-way moves. Now, what I mean by that is not just are you moving forwards, that's one way, but maybe you're moving forwards and down while you're panning up. that would be what I call a three-way move. And there's some finesse involved. The gist is, you're doing more than just a simple movement. You're doing a fairly complex movement, but you're doing it in a way that's giving a pretty cool shot. All right. And now for number 5. I think maybe the most controversial one. I kind of recommend that people send the drone up in less than ideal conditions. Now, with that said, I want everybody to be safe and fly smart and follow the rules, but these things are absolutely amazing. And you can actually fly in conditions that you wouldn't really think you could. So I have a lot of people that are like, oh, it's a little bit breezy. Like, I mean, I'm talking people with any little bit of breeze, they don't send up the drone. I recently flew last week, for instance, in an Arctic storm. Like, it was 50-mile-an-hour gusts, and even going straight forward at times, it was blowing the drone backwards. Like, it could not keep up, and that's in sport mode. And I knew there was a risk of crashing it. It got some amazing shots. You could send it up when there's lightning bolts coming down. That's a cool shot. You could send it up when it's starting to rain just a little bit, and if you're flying backwards, you can capture that rain, and it's not gonna get on the lens. Beginners don't do that. So if you're wanting to take it to the next level, that's one of the tips. I guess with all of this, let me say also, I am not responsible for your crashed drones. You are gonna crash some drones if you start getting the cooler shots. But once you crash a few drones, you're gonna start to know the limits. And I think I trust people more if they've crashed a few drones. If they're beginners and they've never crashed a drone, I get a little worried because they don't know the capabilities of that drone, when it's gonna be too sketchy and when it's not. And I'm always really safe when I fly, so that's one thing I would say. Again, follow the rules, make sure that you're doing it right. But I hope those helped in some way. They're not the typical advice, that's why I thought I'd give them. Thanks for following 52 Things, everybody. A big thanks to all the patrons out there who are always helping support the education that we're doing, because not only is it supporting this filmmaking, it's also supporting the biology content that we're creating on our other site. So links to that down below. I'll see you guys next Tuesday.